Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Hicks, Nicks, Sticks, Picks. A podcast about Robb's movies with your hosts, Robb Spewak and Josh Sroka. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let the show begin.
Thank you, AI guy. I missed him. It's been almost 4 days since we heard him.
I do like that we're getting these out back to back.
I do. Well, it's a very special time to watch movies because you know what it is? It's Hicks, Nicks, Sticks, Picks, Cricks Mix. Christmas.
No Cricks Mix.
You don't think so?
No.
It does sound a little like Chex Mix. What if we did Cricks Muss or Chris Mix?
No.
Okay, well, it's already written on the envelope, so
No.
don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me.
It's fine.
Okay.
We can go with it.
All right. It is, it's us. It's Robb and it's Josh, and it's His Nicks, Sticks, Picks, a service of the Mike O'Mara Show. And spooky season is over, and I think that's great because now it's the holiday season. And the movie I chose, Josh, I want you to know it was with some trepidation that I chose.
Okay.
Because it's old. And it feels old. If it's the same age as Yankee Doodle Dandy, but it feels older.
You could have done like the Buffalo Bills Love Story or whatever that new Hallmark movie is.
Oh, no, Champagne Dreams. That's the one I watched last night.
Yes.
Don't look at that. But first of all, the movie we're doing, folks, is called Holiday Inn. It's from 1942, Paramount Pictures. It ran an hour 40. I'm sensitive to that since you watch lengths now.
That is so long.
It's not. It's ideal. It's 100 minutes. That's the length of a TV movie. It's a perfect length for a movie.
90 minutes is the perfect length.
All right. 90 minutes is a good length for like 3 episodes of a sitcom. But you got a story to tell here. Anyway, it stars Bing Crosby, Fred Astaire, Marjorie Reynolds, music and lyrics by Irving Berlin, which was a huge deal at the time, produced and directed by Mark Sandrich. Now, I know for a fact that this movie on the DVD that I have, the Blu-ray, you can choose color or black and white because they colorized it. And so I imagine when you went and sought it out, you had the option of color or black and white. Oh, you didn't?
I did not. I rented it from Apple TV.
Right.
And I did not see the option. I watched it in black and white.
Well, that's why we're in black and white today. But you know what? I don't think you missed anything.
One of us could be in black and white and one in color.
Yes, let's do that.
Of course, there's other things we could do for this movie as well with color.
Stop it. We'll get there. Don't look at it. If you're given the choice, folks, don't look at it in color. It just doesn't look right. A lot of the cinematography is
color,
destroyed.
like painted on color.
Well,
right?
it's not. Technicolor would be a compliment. This looks like watercolors. A little, seepage all around. So don't look at that. Anyway, the plot of Holiday Inn is after a hit-filled overture, which you're hearing right now. Just like any Broadway show or musical, it's a medley of all the songs that are in the movie. We fade into New York City on Christmas Eve, and we're at the nightclub, the Midnight Club, with a red-hot act. It's Jim Hardy, Ted Hanover, and Lila Dixon. Jim is a singer, Ted's a dancer, Lila's a dancer. And Jim is planning to marry Lila after the show tonight. However, Ted Hanover is making a play for her as well, because Jim plans to leave show business and become a farmer in the real world. He hates the notion of never getting a holiday, and he's going to take Lila as his bride. Well, I numbered the musical numbers. I thought you would appreciate that. Musical number 1 is I'll Capture Your Heart, which is actually a very funny routine where they imitate each other. It allows Bing to really sing like Bing. Fred Astaire's a great dancer. They do that, and it's all about you will come with me because I sing, or you will come with me because I dance. Well, that's the number. It's a beautiful club. And after the show, they go back to their dressing room, and Jim explains that, we love each other and we're going to go. And Ted does not explain his situation until the manager, Danny Reed, comes in and screams, great line, I got you 200 more than you got when you were working with the farmer. So he steals Lila and Ted, and they go away. So that's a tough break for Bing. He's distraught. He lost his wife. He's out of show business. So he goes out to do the farm, and it turns out the farm is the hardest work of it all. It is really, really, he's chasing pigs, he's pitching hay, there's all this work, and it really doesn't suit him. So for that, we get musical number 2, Lazy, which is a montage of Bing being just the worst farmer you've ever seen. And it turns out he's not lazy. It's just the toughest job there is, and he finally loses it. So now, Christmas Eve, 1 year later, he comes back to visit Ted and Lila. This time they're at the Club Pierre. And he announces his plan, which is that he's going to open an inn that's not closed on holidays. It's open holidays only. And every holiday will have its own music and everything like that. And he wants to set this up as his way to make money. They laugh at him. They think it's a stupid idea. And Danny goes off to go to Miami to set up something for Ted and Lila. And while they're waiting back at the nightclub, this is funny to me because they say, I put these up right before I went to the sanitarium. So it's proof that Bing Crosby was Jim Hardy was actually institutionalized because he was such a bad farmer. But he brings them a little gift.
That reminds me, I forgot to give them a little Christmas remembrance I brought along. There's one here for each of you. Say, this is swell. What is it? It's homemade peach preserves. I put them up myself just before I went into the sanitarium.
Boy, do I go for those. Well, why, they're great on or even plain.
Non-fattening, too. Well, it's a long trip back to the farm. I think I'll get along. Will you say hello to Lila for me?
Oh, but you've got to wait and catch the act. We've got some new routines. And then after the show...
One of the jars of peaches explodes.
I don't think they like this nightclub air.
Number 2.
Wait, you better wait for Lila's.
You gotta wait. There it is.
I think Danny's was the loudest.
Oh, it was a different tone.
And then right on the head. Boom.
Dawn Patrol, huh?
World War II reference, which is actually sort of a thread through the whole movie.
So you're saying went to the sanitary there means he went insane?
To the loony bin. Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was like a hygiene thing or like sewage treatment.
No. That would be sanitary treatment. Sanitarium is like think of the big sun-filled atrium with all the patients in their white, simple clothes trying to decompress from the real world.
All right, well, that makes a little bit more sense.
It does. So Danny is off to the airport and he gets spotted by a lady named Linda Mason, and she recognizes him as a big showbiz agent, so she makes a big fuss over him, trying to get an audition. He sees right through her and gives her a pass to go see the show at the nightclub. And she goes and she gets seated at the table with Jim Hardy, the performers table, and they big time each other. Great. He says, I've got a club in Connecticut, which is going to be Holiday Inn, and I don't know if Ted Hanover's big enough for it. And then she says, oh, yes, of course. And he says, and who are you again? She says, I'm Linda Mason. And he has to pretend he knows who she is. They butt heads a little bit. It's awkward. And then they go up to they're at the same table. We see the third musical number. It's called You're Easy to Dance With, Ted and Lila. And it is a great example of Fred Astaire dancing. Lila sees Linda at the table, becomes instantly jealous, and Linda gets out of there. Next day, Christmas Day, Linda Mason shows up to Holiday Inn per Danny's recommendation for an audition and realizes that he's not a big-time nightclub owner. In fact, he's a farmer, a failed farmer, and she's also a phony, so they get along fine. When they get there, Bing is on a ladder. He falls into a snowdrift and pulls Miss Linda with him, and so they're both destroyed wet. I mean, they are just soaked. So they have to go in and get cleaned up. Mamie, who is his housekeeper, played by Louise Beavers, really the hero of the story, helps Linda get cleaned up. And after dinner, there are sparks between Jim and Linda, and Jim debuts a new song he wrote for Christmas. And this is the first time we hear, outside of the overture, we hear White Christmas. He wrote that, and he said he was going to sing it at the end. Now, it's become one of the ultimate Christmas songs. Do you like the song White Christmas?
Yeah, I like the song White Christmas. Is this how it was? This is how it was introduced to the world?
See, that's a little funny. It was written for the movie, but it was first performed on the radio in December of 41, and it didn't really light anybody up. No one really thought it was a great song until the next year. They all thought, everyone in this movie thought, Be Careful, It's My Heart would be the hit single. But the next year, White Christmas went to number 1, stayed there for 11 weeks. This is what's amazing. For the next 14 years, it would go to the top 40 12 times every year. That's like Mariah Carey numbers.
Yeah, that's some money.
Yeah, and it was also, to this day, the biggest selling single in terms of physical media. If you take out streaming and
that makes sense based on the time period.
Yeah, but we're talking 50 million physical copies of the song. That's crazy. And so it was not an instant hit, but it did pick up. Bing's only reaction to it when he brought it to Irving Berlin was, I don't think we're going to have any trouble with this one, which is not really high praise. It's just saying we got through it. But it also was an important song in history because it was the first popular secular Christmas song. I mean, it talks about Christmas, but it doesn't talk about Jesus, and it doesn't talk about, the nativity.
Right, it's not a church song.
It's not a church song, and it was the first time a truly secular Christmas song was written that hit big.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and also Irving Berlin, he also sort of set the template. So many of the great Christmas songs of the 40s, 50s, 60s were written by Jewish composers. And Irving Berlin was a Jewish composer. So the irony, I suppose, is writing a Christmas song when you don't celebrate Christmas. But it is, without a doubt, to my ears, a beautiful song. Great song. So he sings that, and it's all very romantic. And then it is New Year's Eve. Holiday Inn is packed and looks amazing. I don't know that they could have really gotten the inn in that kind of shape in 6 days, but it looks fantastic. They do a musical number 5, Happy Holidays, Welcome to Holiday Inn. And that's very nice. They've got an orchestra, the whole deal. Beautiful thing. And Danny, back in New York, the agent, finds out that Ted got left by Lila for a millionaire. And the maitre d' reveals to Danny that Ted ordered a scotch and soda, a bottle of each. And so he is absolutely hammered. And Bing sings musical number 6, Let's Start the New Year Right. But after that, Ted Hanover shows up at Holiday Inn, and Fred Astaire does this dance, the drunken dance, that I think is clever and accurate and entertaining, as well as remaining elegant. Just a little sloppy in the... Now, I don't know if you know this, I used to drink, and I think that's a pretty accurate depiction of someone who's drinking.
You used to dance as well, right?
Always at Holiday Inn. But a little research revealed to me, I think you'll appreciate this. For that drunk sequence, Fred Astaire had 2 shots of bourbon before the first take, and then a shot of bourbon before each succeeding take, and they did 7 takes.
So it's different than last episode. We talked about planes, trains, and they did a great job acting drunk.
This
Here,
guy
he had to go all in.
Yeah, he had 9 shots of bourbon when you see him dancing, which is, I don't know, is that method acting? Maybe.
I think it means he did really good on the scene and was probably a pain when the cameras weren't rolling.
Probably, could be. Then it's New Year's Day, and Ted is, of course, wickedly hungover. What he doesn't remember is that he did that dance the night before with Linda Mason. That's Jim's girl. He's too drunk to remember who she was, and no one saw her. And of course, because it's Jim Hardy's girl, it's Bing's girl, he's not going to help out. So they say, aha, we can figure out who she is. She'll probably come to the next performance here at Holiday Inn. And he says, I'll know her if I dance with her. And Danny, ultimate creep, says, I'll know her if I see her from behind.
Lots of talk of her behind.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. But, that's like Psycho and the bra. It's just her underlying theme for all of that stuff. They do keep separate. Okay, the next holiday they celebrate is Lincoln's birthday. Now, this is a troublesome sequence. This is a musical sequence number 8, Abraham, it's called. And it is...
Now, This is where, well, before, as soon as I started watching the movie,
Oh, yeah, you got it.
I sent you a picture
Yes.
where it says, this program includes racial and cultural depictions that are outdated and offensive. But then it goes on to that they have not been removed at interest of presenting the original content and preserving history. There's no reason to keep them in for the story.
Well, actually, there is, because the blackface is how he disguises Linda from the other guys.
Yes. But if that scene was removed, there's no reason to disguise her.
I suppose you're right. I'm not apologizing for the scene whatsoever. It's horrible.
This is also the first time I've watched a movie with blackface just played straight. And it's a little weird because by 1942, it wasn't a real common thread of show business anymore. It was a big thing in the 20s and 30s even with Al Jolson. But this is a little out of date already. And looking at it through a modern lens, it's horrifying. It really is. Well, there's a whole scene of them talking and having a conversation, like normal conversation, while putting on blackface.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, it's not in the background. It's just part of the movie.
It's part of the movie. And when he springs the fact on her that he's going to do the sequence in blackface, he's doing it so she'll remain disguised. But he says, I just decided to do it in blackface. That's a lie, because the entire sequence is, designed around being in blackface.
The entire movie is a lie. All he does is lie.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's just
true.
another lie.
It's another lie. I will say this. I applaud those people that leave that stuff in a motion picture of this vintage, because to ignore it is to forget it, and to forget it is to let it repeat. So you need to be aware of where we are historically in context, that this was acceptable then, and that sucks. So it's, they did the same thing when they released the Bugs Bunny cartoons on DVD.
I totally understand it being in there and left in the movie.
Yeah.
I did see that they've removed it from like stage plays and stuff.
I think when American Movie Classics aired it, they cut it out. They should.
And if it's going to be on TV, you can cut it out. I can see that. But this goes back to like when E.T. was re-released and they took all the guns out.
Yeah.
It just makes things look weird.
It does, and it would sort of mess with the continuity of the film plot. But again, I'm not apologizing for it. I wish it had never been filmed. I wish Irving Berlin never wrote that song. But that's the way things were then. Also, I think a little bit of it has to do with the fact that we were entering World War II when this movie was filmed, and there's the patriotic love of Lincoln that they wanted to get in there, but it's not the best way done.
Well, there's also the problem of it's a great song. Like the Lincoln song's one of the better songs in the movie.
Well, it is. It's got beautiful minor chord changes. It's a big part of the overture, and it is a good song, and it does tell the story of Abraham Lincoln in a most unfortunate way. I don't skip it in the movie when I watch it, but I watch it knowing that it's wrong. And that's it. That's one of the reasons I was so hesitant to present this movie to you, because to come out of 2025 not expecting that and never having seen it, it probably surprised you quite a bit.
Once I saw that warning before the movie started, I was like, oh, this is going to be some blackface.
Yes.
I figured that's what's going on. But even... it was still shocking as I got to that scene.
It is shocking. So when that scene finishes up, it goes well. Things are cooking at the end. And Jim kind of asks Linda to marry him. Kind of. He says, we've got to, get in a better financial situation. But I believe the phrase is, they're kind of engaged.
Well, he didn't propose. He said, if we get in a better financial situation, you can be here year round.
Exactly.
Which he took as marriage.
Yeah, marriage. They don't find her that night because, of course, she's in blackface. And Jim sneaks her out. They kiss, and they vow to return. The other two, Ted and Danny, vow to return on Valentine's Day. And so now we have musical number nine, which is Be Careful, It's My Heart, supposed to be the big hit single here. Bing sings the hell out of it. I know it's not a modern style of singing, but when he starts doing the ba 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 ba, he's really giving it his all. He really wants this to be a hit single, and he's got a great voice. He really does, even though it's a 70, 100-year-old style of singing. He really sings this record well. While he's doing it, Ted comes in, sees and sees Linda and starts dancing, and they do a great Valentine's dance with a nice effect of jumping through a big paper heart. It's great. And now they've found each other. So it's problematic for Jim. He has to figure out another lie. So they do Washington's Birthday next, and it's set up to look like a merry minuet type sequence, very 1700s. And every time that they try to kiss, he's leading the band. Ted is leading the band. Not Ted. Jim is leading the band.
It's all right.
And
they look exactly the same. It's confusing to watch the movie because Jim and Ted look so similar.
Especially that now that they're both in like George Washington
Yes.
wigs. But he changes the tempo every time they try to kiss to something more rock and roll or more kicking, so they can't kiss. And that scene is a pleasure to watch Fred Astaire react to all of the changes. And I still don't know exactly how they did. On his final spin, he turns and his wig is backwards. He spins under his wig and ends with the ponytail. It's very funny. So this is going on, and Ted says, "Oh my God, Lila, this is awesome. We got to go on tour." They go so well, but she remains true to Jim and vows to stay based on the fact that she thinks they're engaged, but Jim admits to only being sort of engaged. So Ted cuts out and starts to plan. Now it's Easter. They sing Easter Parade, the only song not written for this movie. That's the song that Berlin brought from earlier. And they're in a horse-drawn carriage. It's springtime, and who's on their porch? Ted Hanover is back, and Jim is ripe pissed, and Ted wants to stay and perform at the end. Okay, I'm not sure he should have let him do it, but that's the plot. Now, Independence Day is a great part of this movie because they've figured out a way to get Hollywood agents to come in and watch Ted and Linda dance. And because of that, Bing is a little scared. Jim is very scared. So he gets the guy that provides taxi service to the inn to purposely pick up Linda Mason and drive her into a lake or a river or a stream or something. But anyway, he's right in the middle of it. She's wickedly pissed. So she says, "Get me out. I'm going to walk up to the road." She goes to the highway and hitchhikes and gets picked up by, of all people, Lila, who wasn't really married to a millionaire. And Lila spills the beans about the plot of having the original person put in a river, and then she'll audition for the Hollywood crowd, and Linda won't get a chance to do that. This clues Linda in, so she tells Lila the directions, and they drive into the river. So there's nobody gets to Holiday Inn.
That's my favorite scene in the whole movie.
When
is when she tells the other girl, "I know a shortcut. Let me drive." And you know it's coming. You know it's going right into the river.
And I mean, really great setup and exposition on that. It's a great way to advance the story. So back at Holiday Inn, they've still got to try to impress these Hollywood people. So they start the show without the girls. Bing Crosby does the first number, and it is called A Song of Freedom.
Free to speak and
greatest
free to
hat
hear,
in the world.
Free from want and free from fear. Sons of freedom, far and near who agree. Sing with
Now, for
me,
someone who does live audio, Josh,
all God's people
is this rear projection stuff a little advanced for an inn in 1940s Connecticut?
Yeah. There's no room in the inn for this.
No, of course not. But it is a wonderful scene. It was not
I was
originally.
very confused by that scene, by the big poster.
Yeah.
That girl.
Yeah, as a classic image of liberty, I guess. And now we're seeing all these patriotic film montages that really don't belong at the end. But I found out that song was originally not supposed to be in the movie, but it was added and revamped and patrioted, made it very overly patriotic because we had been bombed at Pearl Harbor during the filming of the movie. Okay. So that was a nod to the the patriot and the patriotic spirit of America, which it kind of fits, but it worked.
It worked in the story for a delay while he's waiting for the girl to show up.
Little over the top. And then the girls are still not there. And then we get to, I think, my favorite dance sequence with Fred Astaire dancing with firecrackers. He is so elegant, great dancer. Lights them, drops them.
I do like that the little inn had a huge sound stage.
Yeah. The shiny black floor in an inn makes perfect sense. I've always watched that scene and wondered if there were real firecrackers or they were put in post.
I watched it over and over again because you can't just edit them in.
Right.
And at some points, it looks like he's dropping them out of his hand.
Right.
And at other points, it's like it makes no sense. It has to be an overlay.
I have an answer for you.
Okay.
They were real firecrackers. He sort of improv'd around when they blew up, but the flashes on the floor, that was added in post by animation. The smoke was real, but the sparks and stuff you saw was added in post. Now, I thought
so a mix.
Yeah, and I was wondering if that's like a fake Hollywood rumor or something. Turns out they did 38 takes of that, and the crew had to wear goggles because of the ash and the sand and the pieces of paper blowing everywhere. Studio was an absolute mess. One great thing about that, and you'll see Michael Jackson stealing this, in that solo dance routine, Fred Astaire is wearing pants that the cuffs are short. He's wearing white shoes and white socks, which is not the style of the day, but it is a way to follow the way his feet move. And so Michael Jackson, with his sparkly socks and his short pants, actually gave the nod to Fred Astaire many years later. It's a great way to watch someone dance. You can follow it.
It's similar to the white gloves.
Exactly. Precisely.
For your hands.
The one problem I do have is the fact that Fred Astaire wore a scarf as a belt. That's a little fancy for me. I'll pass on that, but it's a great dance routine. Many Astaire aficionados say it's their favorite routine of his.
But don't try it.
No,
we're not. There's no going to be no dancing with firecrackers.
I
don't think it'll go well in your Holiday Inn visit.
I only have two. I can't do it. So,
and how will that go over if you light them right there in your studio?
I've done it
so well.
Carrie is always disappointed when I set off fireworks inside. So the girls make it back to the inn, and it's been revealed that Jim is a liar again. And she goes off because she's mad that he didn't trust her, and they go off to Hollywood. Lila is nowhere to be seen at this point, and Linda Mason and Ted Hanover go to Hollywood, and there's a beautiful, beautiful montage of, there's a medley of all the score playing. It's a beautiful 1930s styled Hollywood montage, almost like a kaleidoscope and changing of time and all that, showing what's going on as they're filming the movie. Turns out the movie is actually based on Holiday Inn. And he was so bitter that Jim Hardy just says, well, take it. I'll write the music. You can take it. Take everything. I don't want anything to do with it. So they're making all this. They're making the movie. It's Thanksgiving. Jim reads in a fan magazine they're going to get married. And so he's heartbroken. He doesn't even want to eat at Thanksgiving. And that's when Mamie, Louise Beavers, comes in. And she really is the hero of this movie, because the movie could have ended there. But she gives him a rousing pep talk that's out of character. And I love the way that Bing reacts to it, because you would think he would be offended. But in fact, he's really valuing her advice.
The trouble ain't with that turkey, Mr. Jim. It's you.
I feel all right. I'm riding high, baby.
Well, why you close the inn and sit around like a jellyfish with the misery? 'Cause a slicker stole your gal, and you ain't got fight enough to get her back. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Jim, but...
Well, I tried to keep her here.
What kind of keeping is that? Nothing but tricks. If you went to Hollywood and told Miss Linda how much you loves her and misses her, and told her that the way a lady likes to hear it told, I'll bet you she'd be the quickest ex-movie star that ever exed.
So great. So great. And like you said, the theme of the movie is him lying.
Yes.
And she knows it the whole way. She knows it the whole way.
And Mammy's great the entire movie.
Oh, she is. And her kids, Daphne and Vanderbilt, are so cute.
Yeah. They won't behave.
No, they won't. They won't stay in the kitchen. So Bing flies out to Hollywood. He drops in on the two, Fred Astaire. I'm sorry. I go back and forth between their names. I'll try to stick to characters. They do. He drops in on Ted Hanover and Danny Reed. And it's such a great sequence, because they're saying, this wedding is going to be perfect. We've got the license. We've got everything. One more shot in the movie and we're done. What could possibly go wrong? And that's when Jim Hardy walks in. Hi, fellas. I'm here to see you make a movie. They try to lock him in a closet. He escapes. and makes it to the scene where they're going to shoot the final sequence. By the way, so obvious that the set of Holiday Inn is the set of Holiday Inn. They're just using the same set.
Save the money.
Yeah, save the money. And a really good behind the scenes Hollywood. If you like classic Hollywood, you see the microphones and the playback speaker and the motion picture cameras of the era. It's a neat sequence to watch. She is ready to sing. She's ready to go. Jim is in there watching. The other two get locked out because that famous red studio light, you can't open the door. And she begins to sing White Christmas and begins to realize as she looks down, that's Jim's pipe on the piano. And then while she sings it further, Jim starts whistling White Christmas. And then she says, oh my God, he's here. And they apologize and they kiss and make up and it's wonderful. And the red light goes off and Danny and Ted come in and they'll say, we're too late. How could he have worked that fast? But it worked. And then the movie closes with the final musical number 16. It's a reprise of I'll Capture Your Heart. It's New Year's Eve. Ted is back with Lila. Jim and Linda marry and stay at the inn and is happily ever after. And Finn. Okay. A lot of plot there that I probably didn't need to get into. But again, I get excited because I love the movie. Starting off, what did you not like about the movie? Or did you, I'm not asking for a rating at this point. Did you like the movie?
The music was fine.
Yeah.
The plot is extremely thin.
It is very thin.
The dancing is very good.
Yes.
The farmhouse that they turn into the Holiday Inn is a cool house.
Yeah, I love that house. It was actually used later on, same studio, when they made White Christmas in 54. That it was loosely a remake of Holiday Inn that's not nearly as good because Bing Crosby is playing 25 years old when he's like 60, so it doesn't really work.
And the cast is all good. I like Mammy a lot.
Yes, great character. And
so that's
I also
some things I like.
To comment about the character of Mammy, going back to the blackface, it's really easy and typical to say that is a sort of a racist role she's playing. But you got to know, in this movie, she's got the purest intentions, and she's the smartest person in the movie.
She is.
And you got to know that this is not a racist casting, I don't think. I think this makes her look great, and it's a wonderful performance.
And she sings in the Lincoln song.
Yeah, she can do it all. She can do it all.
The scenes I enjoyed were I enjoyed the peach preserves.
Yeah, I like that too.
I like them exploding.
That's and that is just so silly. That's a silly thing to put in the movie, but I love it.
It's just a comic relief they're trying to add in there. I enjoyed, as I mentioned, the car shortcuts both times. When Gus did it and when the girl did it, that made me laugh.
I love the fact that Gus did it first, and then she learns from Gus.
And does the exact same setup
and
of
so
I know
well
a shortcut.
Done. Yeah, exactly. Love it.
And then I love the firecracker dance.
The firecracker dance is remarkable. And to be said for Fred Astaire, 38 takes, obviously a perfectionist. Fred Astaire always tried to dance with things that were uncommon. Now, Gene Kelly, a lot of people figure who's a better dancer. I've always been an Astaire guy because Gene Kelly he's very athletic when he dances, but he lacks grace. And Fred Astaire is as graceful as anyone could be. And he invents things to dance with. They did the scene in Royal Wedding where he dances on the ceiling. He danced with a coat rack. He danced with invisible people that had feet that they saw. He loved to use the medium of film to make his dance sequences stand out. But that firecracker sequence is really, really top notch. Love it. We're going to take a break, come back, and I've got some questions about whether or not Josh really did like the movie, and also some of my favorite things about it, and of course, our rating. We'll be back on Hicks, Nicks, Sticks, Picks, Chris Mix. All right, we are back on Hicks, Nicks, Sticks, Picks, and we're talking the 1942 movie Holiday Inn. One thing I want to say, I don't know, I have seen the movie, if you wanted a literal accurate guess, I would say 120 times is about how many times I've watched it. And so I'm a little numb to this, but I tried to watch it with new eyes. The structure of going holiday to holiday to holiday to holiday.
No.
It's gimmicky. Do you think it works?
Well, here's the problem.
Okay.
They wrote the soundtrack first.
Yeah,
and then they
of course.
said, let's write a story to get from song A to song B to song C. It works as in, you see it in movies all the time now where the seasons change.
Yeah.
And the cameras will pan out from Central Park where it's all nice and green, and then they come down and it's the fall leaves.
Yeah.
Come back and it's winter snow. So the storytelling works.
Yeah, I think it's a useful device, and also a clever. I mean, musicals were certainly common by then, but each song really does fit the situation. And I think they were a little clever in song placement, which is good, but it is gimmicky. I wonder if when it came out in 1942, people were more impressed because they hadn't seen it before.
Every movie that's out now is gimmicky.
Yeah,
almost
you're right.
every movie is out there to try to sell something. And for this movie, it was music.
Yeah, and they're not trying to sell the Holiday Inn lodging, the hotel or motel, because it predates it.
They've got so much room in that place.
No, but I'm talking about like a real Holiday Inn nowadays.
The leave the light on or whatever the slogan is now.
Yeah, but they didn't come until like 15 years later. One thing I really love is a couple things on the look of the film. When they go between the inn and a nightclub, or the Holiday Inn and Hollywood, there is a great, and even to a certain extent from the inn to the 4th of July stage, there's a great contrast of looking cozy and looking shiny and glittery, very show busy. And I think that's a nice contrast there.
See that?
I love movies of that era when the floor is so shiny you can see the dancer, and you do get some of that. The credits are pretty. They have a shadow of a branch on the sign that has the names of the stars and everything. And that's nice. It adds motion to it. I think they stole that from Selznick. He did that in Gone with the Wind, but I don't mind seeing it. Fred Astaire. I won't ask you to choose between Fred Astaire and Jim Kelly.
I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Who is this?
That's Bing Crosby.
Are you sure? Because who's this?
That's Fred Astaire.
Are you sure? Because it's the same person.
Yeah, I've watched the movie more times than you. I guess
it's the same. They're the same people. One's got his chin is slightly sharper.
Yeah, and
but
one
they
has
have the same
bigger
haircut.
Ears. Yeah, they do.
They are the same.
Yeah, I think it's sort of unfortunate for the characters that Fred Astaire is a better singer than Bing Crosby is a dancer. So when he has to do his, when they're imitating each other, he gets off better than that. Fred Astaire he's a dancer in everything he does. In his opening sequence, when he's dropped off at the nightclub and he dances with the street performing kids and he gives money to Santa Claus and makes him ring his bell in rhythm. And then something as simple as wiping the snow off the sign. It's just it's like he rehearsed it for days, and it's nothing to him. He's just fun to watch on screen, especially this young, because later on, in the 50s when he would do his MGM stuff, he wasn't quite this dancer. He looks great. I think it's a wonderful capture of the era, whether or not it ever existed, because I don't know if there really were nightclubs you could go to and just come in and you're in a tuxedo and your date is in a glittery gown and in the middle of a room with a 70-foot Christmas tree, big stars are dancing for you. I'm sure it existed.
Sure.
But I mean,
in Hollywood, not for your normal common folk.
Yeah. Now, I do want to ask you this. This is amazingly the second Bing Crosby feature we've had on this young podcast, because he was the narrator of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. What is your opinion of Bing Crosby as an actor?
I have no opinion of Bing as an actor. He was fine in this.
Okay.
He was fine as the narrator, but that's not much acting.
No, you're right.
I am. I've heard too much of Bing Crosby over the years to really think of him outside of that he beats his kids.
Yeah, which maybe he could have beaten his kids.
Could have beat his kids.
Could have. I like in that story to go with Gary lying, saying that he beat them to sell books, but. We'll see. Yeah, but he was too young to have beaten his kids at this point. So he's a non-kid beating actor. I think when I watch him, the thing that comes to mind, and maybe you agree, I don't know, he's effortless on the screen. He is just himself. There is no put on. Even when he's lying and being ashamed, he looks just like a lying and ashamed guy. He acts without look like he's acting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. He does. But again, I haven't seen him when he's not acting.
That's true.
So I feel like everything's a performance to him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when he made a movie, he invariably played Bing Crosby. You can listen to like an old radio show and he's doing the same thing. And that's fine. The dialogue is witty. It's out of place and out of date, but there's certain lines like, that'll be easy, like peeling a turtle. That's not an expression you would hear anymore, but I do love that. Or always looking for the greener grass and finding spinach. These are really precise little lines. I think.
Well, he also said early on in the movie, "Sorry, that's life."
Yeah, exactly.
After he lost the girl, it's like, "Sorry, that's life."
That's true. It is. I do have a problem with Linda Mason. Marjorie Reynolds made a few movies. This is her most notable by far. Her singing was dubbed. She's not a great dancer. And to be honest, to use a expression from my family, she's got a kite face. It's a big face, like a kite. And I would like to have seen a more talented singer. Someone should at least have been able to do their own singing.
I have no problem with Linda.
Okay.
I did have a problem with Bing during White Christmas. There's a point where Linda is singing.
Yeah.
And Bing is like humming along or making noises.
Yeah.
And he just looks, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Like he should have just been quiet and let her do her thing.
I understand. Well, yeah, I suppose you're right. He was the biggest selling singer of the time, though. So
but
I guess
he had his verses.
Yeah, he did.
He could have been quiet during hers.
Yeah, shut up, Bing.
Maybe they were trying to cover up her poor performance.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wonder, I mean, it's not a real taxing performance, Linda Mason, the character. They should have hired someone who could sing herself. I mean, there's plenty of people in Hollywood that can sing. So I just think that they maybe set the bar too low for that. There's some great comedy takes, and I think Fred Astaire and Bing Crosby work very well together, especially showing signs of distrust or underlying dislike. There's a great friction between them that I think is pretty genuine. So all in all, that's the movie. I'm sorry about that one sequence. I guess you can tell I love the movie. Do you want to give a rating or do you have any more thoughts?
Well, the whole concept of this guy is going out and opening up this hotel, this inn.
Right.
But it's only open on holidays.
Right.
So clearly doesn't have to make money. Linda goes there to perform only on holidays, but he can't afford to pay her, so she clearly doesn't need money.
Right. She's back to the flower shop. Yeah.
And he then wrote a song for each holiday, so you have to come see him and his songs performed. So the entire thing is a vanity project, and all the guy does is lie the entire time.
He does lie. He is, I wrote it down here. He's a conniving dick. Jim Hardy is a conniving dick.
The story makes no sense unless you put a liar and say, this guy lies to get whatever he wants. He makes everything about himself and only celebrates holidays.
The only counterpoint I can offer is that early in the sequence, the reason he left show business is he wanted to be able to take holidays. And when he comes back and says there's 13 or 14 holidays in the year, and that gives him all the rest of the time to kick around, Fred Astaire's character kind of gives him well, you would think of that.
When this movie came out, were these the only holidays, like national recognized holidays?
I think pretty much, yeah. What holiday were you looking for?
Thanksgiving.
Well, they did Thanksgiving.
Did we get Thanksgiving?
Yeah, he's saying I've got plenty to be thankful for.
That's right. We don't have there's no MLK Day, but I guess that's pre that. There's no Memorial Day. Must have came after.
I don't know when Memorial Day was established. It would probably be pretty close.
Probably after one of the wars.
Yeah.
Same with Labor Day.
Yeah.
I guess Veterans Day wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
So maybe these were the only holidays.
Maybe. One thing I will say as
Columbus Day.
Oh no, Columbus was still alive in 1942. He had to die before we did that. The one thing I will say about it, and I think it's pretty clever, is in the Depression, and we're coming out of the Depression, in the late 30s, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, our president, moved the official day of Thanksgiving from the last Thursday in November, which it had been up to that point, to the fourth Thursday in November. Thus, if the calendar falls out right, you get at least an extra week of holiday shopping in to help the merchants, more time for Christmas. And that's why when they show the calendar for Thanksgiving, the animated turkey can't figure out which day to go to. That's a little dig at the fact that that Roosevelt was moving holidays around, and I can tell how much you care.
No, it's all about money. It always is about money.
Yeah.
I just pulled up what were the holidays in 1942 recognized by the U.S. government.
Okay, good.
And
federal holidays. Yeah.
Yep. New Year's Day,
Got it.
Washington's birthday, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Columbus Day, Armistice Day, which then turned into Veterans
Day, yeah.
Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas Day. So Lincoln's birthday wasn't even a big deal. It wasn't a big holiday. They forced it in there.
Wow. And you know what? I think the reason he didn't write songs for all the holidays is Irving Berlin couldn't find anything to rhyme with armistice.
Right. So but again, the whole thing is all about selling the music.
It is. And
so
I
these were the holidays he wrote songs for.
At this point in the United States, Irving Berlin was as big of a draw as, Bing Crosby or Fred Astaire. He wrote God Bless America. He wrote miles and miles of music. And I like the fact that I think it was from like 1930 that he first wrote Easter Parade. He was able to repurpose it. I don't know if I'm too cynical. I feel he saw Easter Parade and said, this can be an entire movie. Because all he has to do is write,
Yes.
8-9 more holiday songs and he's out. And there's a couple standards in there, standard style songs that weren't holiday related that I'm sure they wanted to be big hits. And I think everyone was surprised when White Christmas became the standalone. I mean, it defined Bing Crosby's career. He sang it until he died in 1977 and everybody's recorded
I'm
it.
sure it's taking care of his grandkids.
Lots of money, of money rolling in for that.
All right. So you want my score for this?
I do. How many out of scale of 1 to 10, 10 being best, how many firecrackers do you give this movie?
Now, I understand that if I go to Rotten Tomatoes, this is going to be 100%. But
Yes.
on my personal score,
Yes.
this is a 2.
Wow.
This was, maybe it would have pushed a 3 if it wasn't for the blackface. So I got to minus a point for that.
Wow.
But no,
This is your lowest. This is the lowest score anyone's
this
given
is the
anything.
lowest score ever. This is
So
for
you
me,
liked Return to Oz better than this?
I liked Yankee Doodle Dandy better than this.
Well, it's a better movie, I think.
It is. And I think I liked Return to Oz better too.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm not going to say I'm heartbroken. I'm not going to say it.
If I just played the soundtrack to this movie,
Yeah,
that's much better than the movie itself.
you're right.
And that's probably why I'm a little bitter about it.
I can hook you up with the soundtrack. No shot.
No, thank you.
Well, you said I'm just trying to be helpful.
I already have it.
I know you do. You're streaming it. No
Yes.
physical media.
Correct.
I have to give this an 8, and that's the penalizing. The reason it doesn't go higher, penalty for the blackface.
You gave it a 2-point penalty?
Yeah, I did.
Then I should adjust mine. I now changed
to
mine
one.
to a 1, so
I
it's
know.
minus 2 points.
But
No,
are
I'll
you
stick with
saying
2.
now this is a great linking movie because it features both Thanksgiving and Christmas in sort of, very,
And
very
Easter and the 4th of July.
Yeah. But I mean, you have to know that the beginning and the end is Christmas. That's the
Yes.
anchor holidays. there.
Okay.
So, and also having Thanksgiving in it, this is a perfect linking movie for where we are now
All
in
right.
early December.
At the start of Christmas season.
Yeah. Would you recommend this to anyone?
No.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Okay. And obviously then you wouldn't let your kids watch it.
They would fall asleep before we get to the first song.
I've made my kids watch this movie.
I
know you're not surprised.
I don't make my kids watch anything.
Okay.
You
All
will
right.
not find me just watching this ever again.
All right. Well, so
But I
don't-
will listen to White Christmas.
You don't want the Blu-ray? I could loan it if you want.
I don't need that. I'll be
Okay.
fine.
Even maybe you should have watched it in color.
I think I might own it now on Apple TV.
Oh, did you buy not rent?
I think it might have been a buy.
Well, now you're mad at me
Because every
of
now
that.
and then, great classic movies are like $4.99 to buy or $3.99 to rent. And
Yeah,
you're
you
like,
might as
I'll
well
just
spend
hit
the
buy
dollar.
button.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that this was a not your favorite movie. I thought it would do better. I wasn't, now mark my words, I wasn't looking for like an 8 or a 7 from you, but I thought you'd like it a little bit.
No, this one was a struggle to get through for me.
Well, let's see if we do better next week. And
All right.
again, folks, I've got the envelope right here. If you want, and you should, watch this movie before we drop next week's episode, because then you can play along.
Maybe in the new year we should do a let the listeners submit some movies.
I'm all for it. And just so you know, it says on the envelope, on the next Hicks, Nicks, Sticks, Picks, Cricks Mix.
Oh, you're going to push that Cricks mix, aren't
Well,
you?
I mean, only for 3 more weeks.
So only for the season.
Josh, I think that I will redeem myself with this pick. A Muppet Christmas Carol.
Okay.
Okay. A Muppet Christmas Carol, a Walt Disney picture with Michael Caine and all the Muppets. Directed by Brian Henson. It's in color and it runs an hour 25.
All right.
Muppet
I like
Christmas
the
Carol.
time.
Yeah.
I've seen this as a child.
Okay.
I may have made my kids watch it when they're little, but they're older now.
Yeah.
So I have not seen this in at least 20 years, I think.
Before, I don't know how Christmassy you get. Do you have a favorite Christmas Carol version? Because there's so many good ones that you watch every year.
Scrooged is my favorite.
Scrooged? Okay. I like the...
Which kind of mixes it up, but it's in the end, it's a Christmas Carol.
Sure. I like the George C. Scott version because it is the darkest, meanest, most detestable Scrooge. He's great. And the whole movie looks cold, like I was living in ancient London. But next week, we're going to do the Muppet take. There'll be a lot of felt and not so much cold. I look forward to it. It's the first
it's got
movie.
The rat, right?
Rizzo is all over it. Gonzo's all over it. It's the first movie that Muppet Productions made after Jim Henson passed.
Okay.
So they put a lot of effort and work into it. There is some original music. I know that I don't push musicals on purpose, Josh. But, this is the way it is. So we'll take a look at it. And so next week, A Muppet Christmas Carol from 1992. Please, won't you join us in watching it? Wow, two firecrackers. Somebody update the chart because that's where we're at. I'll go ahead and say it. Merry Christmas, everybody. It is the Christmas season. Merry Christmas, Josh.
Merry Christmas.
And
or Cricks Mix.
No. Hicks, Nicks, Sticks, Picks, Cricks Mix.
Yeah, so Merry Cricks Mix.
It's so simple. You know what? That's going to be our holiday t-shirt next year. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Again, this show is a service of the Mike O'Mara Show. And we'll be back next week with Muppets. Josh, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you then. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hicks, Nicks, Sticks, Picks. A podcast about Robb's movies with Robb Spewak and Josh Sroka.